coming back to cure that mistake does not cure any of the negative consequences of having signed those contracts already, Mr. President. Right? And that is something for us to debate, because we are being asked now to vote or not to vote on it, and we need to make very clear that we are being asked now to validate, the word is used here is validate, to validate the violation of the law, and then we use the word cure. Cure is not the right word there. You cannot cure the consequences of the mistake that has already been made.
You do not have a leader like ours. Our leader said, I made an omission. I made an omission. Mea culpa. I did not lay them down as the minister responsible for finance and for this. I did not lay them down. So what did he do? He admitted he was wrong. He admitted he made a mistake. So since we made a mistake, what do? You now lay it down and make it with retrospective effect as allowed under the Constitution.
If I can understand that one was excluded, Mr. President, or maybe two, I can say maybe there was not an intentional omission. But when I see one, when I see five, when I see all the way to 7 contracts not being brought before the House for us to examine it, then, Mr. Senator, as a conscientious Belizean, I asked, why was it not done? To my mind, it was an obvious omission, intentional, deliberate.
When I looked at the various contracts, they refer to different tendering procedures. The coastal highway upgrading contracts refer to, when you looked at the documents within the contracts and the letters from the Ministry of Finance and from the Attorney General's Ministry, that one referred to Section 21 of the Finance and Audit Reform Act, which speaks to the limited tendering procedure, not the open tendering procedure that Section 19, subsection 6 of that same act refers to. Why is the contract validation bill referring only to Section 19, subsection 6 of the Finance and Audit Reform Act, when the various sets of contracts follow different tendering procedures?
It is not anything having to do with the procurement process or anything like that. It is the timing. The singular issue that this is fixing is the fact that they were not tabled within the 30-day period required by the law.
This Government Contracts Validation Act 2020 is nothing more than a confession, Mr. President. It is a confession by the Prime Minister that he did not follow the provisions of the Finance and Audit Reform Act. And it has consequences. Illegal behavior has consequences, Mr. President. I am not the one telling him that his actions were illegal. The Chief Justice just said it to him a couple of weeks ago. Minister Faber, the same one who don't want for leader, say it in the House Friday.
If we do not validate these contracts by the passing of this bill, the contractor can still collect and enforce their rights to the contract. So you want the contractors to collect the money and don't get the roads built? By coming here, we force them to do what they have to be paid for pursuant to the contract. Are you people blind? these people who are the contractors and third parties can still enforce their rights even if we don't validate the contract. So we have to pay anyway. So why would a responsible prime minister, knowing that we would have to pay on the contract, not admit that he committed a wrong and come to Parliament to cure that wrong?